Hmm. So, goddess healing is something which is worshipped across all cultures, and I'll be talking about it in depth also going forward. But since we are starting now, let's start with an invocation to Durga. So just relax, take a deep breath, be aware of your heart. We bow to her who is auspicious beauty. We make salutations to her who is prosperity and attainment. Salutations again to her who is fortune and misfortune of kings. Salutations always to Durga, who takes us through difficulties, who is the creator and indwelling essence of all, who is right knowledge. We bow down to her, who is at once most gentle and most fierce. This is from the Devi Mahatmya. And Durga is also known as the Maha Devi or the Supreme Mother Goddess. And going back to ancient times, Durga Shakti was also associated with Inanna, who was the goddess of pre-religion. And so if you see there's a Inanna, Ishtar, they are the goddesses of the time before religion came in. So they were goddesses, like they were known as the energies of, just like in Hinduism we say Adi Shakti. So Inanna and Ishtar in the West were known as the primal mothers. And the star of Ishtar or Inanna, it has eight points. And if you notice, even Ma Durga has 8 arms. So there is a lot of similarity if you go in depth in between the Eastern, you know, form of the mother and also Ma Durga, who is considered as the form of all the three goddesses, the trinity in the goddesses lineage, which is Saraswati, Lakshmi, and Parvati. So she is a combination of all three Shaktis. And she also, because I'm not going to go into the story because that is something we've read over and over again, but I'm going to explain the intricacies and what the main essence of the story is. So, so she was basically invoked by the masculine trinity, Shiva, Vishnu, and Brahma, because they said that the demons were overtaking, and it had become too much for even the masculine energy to control the demons. So they said that we will back you, and you do the take over the demons, and you can put them in their place. So it was that energy. So she comes with a backing of Shiva, Vishnu, and Brahma, which are the three weapons that she carries from the masculine trinity. She has the love aspect of Lakshmi, and she has the intelligence aspect of Saraswati. So she's again in the Athenian culture. She's known as the warrior goddess Athena, the Amazon warrior. In the Buddhist traditions, she's known as the Falden Lamo. In even Bali, Vietnam, and all, there are a lot of places in East also that she is worshipped. And one of her blessings is the warrior blessing, that may you be resolute in combat. You'll notice that. Durga energy is the energy which you invoke when you want power to overcome obstacles in your life, or when you really want that, that energy to speak up, the courage to go ahead and do things. That is the kind of energy that Durga has. Coming back to the goddess worship across all cultures, um, the primal divinity, there is only one, which is again a universal truth across all cultures, that there is only one supreme being. And then there was the Trinity, and then the Trinity has seven further, which we call Devi Devas. And there are many Devi Devtas, but the seven main energies of the planetary lords and the 7 days of the week associated with the lords and all that. So that's how it comes down. And in the Western tradition, it's the angels. So there are the 3 main powers in the Western tradition, which are Holy Spirit, Father, Son, and the Holy Spirit. In the goddess tradition in Hinduism, we have Adi Shakti. She gave birth to Brahma, Vishnu, and Shiva. Even if you read any of the texts on, on the saints who have accomplished, who have gained enlightenment, you'll always notice that just before they gained enlightenment, they were goddess worshippers. All of them were goddess worshippers. So even in our even in our Vedas, it's said that Shiva without Shakti is just Shav. So Shiva is a consciousness aspect of it. Shakti is a creation aspect of it. So if there is no creation, there is no sense of consciousness as well. So only through our movement, through the creation being formed, are we also aware of consciousness? And which is why Shiva has the I mantra in it, and all the beach mantras for the goddesses, you notice, Aim, Hreem, Shreem, Kleem, they're all goddess mantras, and the power sounds of the goddesses, they all have the E mantra in it, which is the feminine aspect in Shiva. And eventually it all comes down to balancing the masculine and feminine within us, which is balanced at our Ajna Chakra. But in the whole process, there are times when you need that consciousness energy, and there are times when you need the creative energy. So it's a balance between both of them. And even in pre-Islamic times, there was the 3 main goddesses of Islam, which nobody really talks about, and I just happened to find out in my research, is that one of them is Al-Lat, which is the goddess of war, peace and prosperity. She's an equivalent to Aphrodite in many cultures. And then there is Al-Mana or Mannat, which is the goddess of fate, fortune, time, and destiny. And then there is Al-Uzza. She is the goddess of might, protection, and love. And she is also still worshipped by the Qurayshis tribe. So, and I don't know, many of you may not know this, but actually Islam is a very feminine religion based on very feminine principles. Even the whole concept of bowing down and touching your forehead to the earth is a very feminine practice. It's bowing down to the mother, because earth is considered the mother. And when the crown is considered the masculine chakra. So it is the masculine bowing down to the mother. And in this book, there was this Womb Awakening book. There was a researcher who researched that Mecca is actually the shrine of Al-Manat, the goddess Al-Manat. So I don't know whether they are aware of it or not. Also, Friday being the day that they worship, that their main worship is done, Friday is the day of the goddess of Venus, and Venus is the planet for the goddess. So there are all these signs are there.
Venus is which god? Because all the other days also, like, I mean, they have gods or goddesses, but
Venus is a goddess energy, yeah. In the Western culture, she's considered as Aphrodite. Venus is associated with Aphrodite, and in India, it's associated with Durga only. You'll see a lot of Durga, like the Durga worshippers. They actually fast on Friday, or they'll do whatever they want to do for the goddess. They'll do on a Friday. Then even in Judaism, there's a concept of Shekinah, which is bowing down and symbolic for the divine feminine. And in Native American cultures, they have like goddesses for almost everything. And most of the traditional indigenous cultures also, even of ancient Europe as well as of America, they have the concept of maiden, mother, and crone, which is again the trinity. So maiden are the goddesses, with the softer energy, the young, loving energy. Mother is the Durga energy in across all cultures, and the crone is actually the energy of some of the tantric goddesses that we don't really worship, but Chinnamasta and even to an extent,
Chamunda?
Chamunda, yeah, Chamunda. Chamunda is the crone energy. Bagalamukhi is another one who is a crone energy, which nobody wants to worship because the crone energy is basically like this old witch energy, which will, it will teach you lessons, but the lessons that you need to learn in a harsh way. So, because once if you don't learn the lesson through the maiden energy, through the mother energy, then the crone energy has to step in, and that is when things get really, it's like Saturn energy. When Saturn is, trying to teach you something, it will really push you down so that you learn what you need to learn, and then it will push you up. So, crone energy is the same. It will really take you down into the depths where you need to learn, where you need to grow, and then it will push you back like as high as low that it took you. So this is another very deep rooted concept in spirituality, that the lower you go, the higher you rise, which is the same thing as the roots of the trees. The lower they go, the stronger they are. The more deep they are, the higher the tree on top will be, and the stronger it will be. So, the more difficulties one.
I wanted to ask, when you said like how the crone energy will make you feel like go through like more hardships or just like in a
Yeah.
harsher way. So does that even apply? Like say if you worship Chamunda, so does that mean that you are invoking to the crone energy, so you will be put through those kind of tests?
No, but you have to balance it out. You have to balance it out. So, anybody who's doing all the sadhana, because these are all tantric goddesses, so when you're doing sadhana for tantric goddesses, you always balance the harsh goddesses out with the um, softer ones. So if you are doing Chamunda or Kali sadhana for a while, then you start with Tripura Sundari or Lakshmi or Saraswati. So you have both have to be balanced, because the lessons of all have to be integrated. In the tantric sadhana, you do all one by one.
Who is Tripura Sundari like a separate one, or does she also fall under like Durga,
He doesn't
Lakshmi?
really fall under Durga. Tripura Sundari is more of like the elder sister of Lakshmi, and she's like a, how to put it nicely, but like a more advanced version of Lakshmi, like a much more stronger, more powerful goddess. So she's again worshipped a lot in the south. Tripura Sundari's also got the energy of all the three goddesses. So she can be extremely loving, and even when she's harsh, but she'll do it in a very loving, detached manner. And when she gives like with everything that she has. So Lakshmi will give also, but when you are worshipping Tripura Sundari, Lakshmi is the energy of the heart chakra, Tripura Sundari is the energy of the crown chakra. So that's the difference. If I mean, understanding it from a hierarchical perspective or a chakral perspective. So that is a universal love. So when you have love for the universe, when you are in that unity consciousness, you are actually in the Tripura Sundari energy. It's another very powerful goddess. So, yeah. So, coming back to the goddesses, the three main, the trinity in the goddesses and the gods, and in all, again, across all cultures, the trinity is love, light, and power. The love, wisdom, or power, intelligence, or power, but love, light, and power. And Lakshmi, Tripura Sundari, Bhuvneshwari, they are all love energy. Saraswati, Kali, Tara, Matangi. Matangi is another form of Saraswati. It was echoing, okay. Matangi is another form of Saraswati. So Matangi, they are all light, they are all wisdom goddesses. Then the power goddesses are Kali, Chinnamasta, and Durga. Durga is actually a combination of love and power.
Amrita, sorry, can you repeat? You said something about Matangi. I couldn't hear it properly.
Matangi is a tantric version of Saraswati. So it's a similar energy to Saraswati, but it's called as Ugra Saraswati also. The same energy as Tara. So different
So
people.
knowledge. So knowledge and wisdom.
Knowledge and wisdom, yeah. And so when we bring Durga into our inner world, and the whole practice of goddess healing is bringing Durga into our inner world, and which means empowering our aspirations, guiding us on the right path through difficult, times when we are in confusion, when there are things that we need to understand or decisions that need to be made. That is the energy also of the solar plexus. Durga energy is also of the solar plexus, and it's the energy of willpower, but willpower on the solar plexus level, which means that the courage basically to get things done, the will to get moving, physically get active. So that is the Durga energy. And yeah, so and her mantra, the mantra that the specific mantra that she is worshipped by, again, which is a tantric. Actually, Hinduism is a tantric based religion. We have taken only the softer part of it, but we have not included everything in what we have so far been taught or spoken about openly. So, Om Aim Hreem Kleem Chamundai Viche Swaha is the main mantra by which Durga is worshipped. Even when you go to Vaishno Devi, you see that is the only mantra which is written right outside, just before you enter. And Om has various meanings, multiple meanings, and in this case, I think it is to invoke, most likely to invoke the Trinity, because I'm Hreem Kleem after that represent the Trinity of the goddesses. So I'm is the Devi Saraswati, the beach mantra for Saraswati, and removing all illusions from the brain, from the mind. Cream is Lakshmi's, the beach mantra, which removes all kinds of poverty, spiritual and mental. Then Kleem is a mantra from Mahakali, which is the ability to destroy obstacles. Kleem is a very Kleem is still mild. Cream, K-R-I-M, is a very powerful mantra. So when we discuss Kali, we'll talk about that. But Om Aim Hreem Kleem invokes the entire trinity of the goddesses. So because to fight Chanda and Munda, which were the demons, you needed all the three energies. And Chamundai actually is a combination of Chanda and Munda. Chanda means self-conceit, and Munda is a representation for self-deprecation. So any self-conceited behavior that we have, or self-deprecating behavior that we indulge in, that is what Durga cuts with her sword. So Viche means which means to go, but since E is attached to it, it means like more on a soul level, that it's a meaning for your Atma. Basically, I surrender this from my, like, or I go to my Atma for this, for healing these things. Plus, when you're using the mantras I am, Dream, Claim, you're activating your Ajna, you're activating your heart, and you're activating the solar plexus. So, Durga, actually, the power aspect of Durga is Kali energy. And another interesting thing about the mantra Clean is that Clean is also, and I don't know the full story behind this, but I have seen in many Kali temples, there's a Krishna statue as well. And a lot of Krishna temples, they have a Kali statue somewhere close by. And this is basically so Clean mantra is also associated with Krishna. So even if you study about the Krishna mantras, the beach mantras for Krishna, Clean is a very known mantra for Krishna. So far, okay?
Wonderful.
Thank you. So, so she's not only invoked for battle, but also the power behind spiritual awakening. And so she has the power behind spiritual awakening is basically the Kundalini Shakti, which we'll come to just before the meditation, which contain aspects of Saraswati and Lakshmi. We discussed she has a backing of the Trinity and the Trident discuss four, which is the powers of the divine masculine. And she's always invoked when you want change, when something drastically needs to change in the world. And she removes the negative energies from us, any kind of obstacles or blockages, or even the lower emotions that we have, like jealousy, greed, and selfishness, or anything like that. Also, you can invoke her for overcoming that. Any weaknesses that you have, like, people like me who will keep saying that I'll do it, but I don't get out to doing it. So if I invoke for Durga Shakti that no, I have to do it, I know I will get that courage to go ahead and do it. So yeah, the only thing is that in all across all spiritual realms also, and it is one of the spiritual truths as well, which is very openly written in the Bible, that ask and you shall be given. And it's the same in all cultures, that you need to ask. You really, because humanity has free will, we cannot, nobody can intercede on that free will. Even the goddesses and the gods cannot intercede unless it's a do or die situation. So when you are doing something, you should always invoke. Like the first thing in the morning, also sometimes most of the time now when I do what I do is that, because sometimes people will call me for advice in the middle of the day, or something will happen, or and I can't always sit down and say, okay, fine, let me invoke and then let me start, giving advice or doing, because healing is still easy. Giving advice is, I find it is very challenging, because you are actually people have that much faith in you that they will do whatever you're saying. And sometimes it can get very difficult. So I even invoke for blessings, that before giving advice, that whatever I say, whatever comes out, let it be what the person needs to hear. Let it be your energy flowing through me, and not my own mind and my own ego taking over. So we always need to ask, we always need to invoke. Even invocation is something which is done across, like at least Hinduism, I know, I'm not very sure. Even in Christianity, other cultures, I'm not sure. In Hinduism also, before you start any havan, before you start any puja, invocation is always done. So even before you start your work, even before you start cooking or something, you can always invoke for the blessings of the deities, or while cooking, you can invoke for the blessings of fire, air, water, and earth, all the elementals and space. So it really does make a difference. It really does. So because there are times when I have invoked and I have spoken to people and I don't remember what I have said, because it's not coming from me. So when somebody tells me that this is what you told me, many times I'm completely blank. So that's when I know that, okay, fine, it didn't come from me, and it came from a higher source. So the grace is always there, but it needs a kind of landing space. So asking is very, very, very important. You should always ask for what you need. Even in the Talmud, the old Hebrew books, it's written that you need to first ask and then believe that your wish is fulfilled. So asking is there in most of the things.
That's like manifestation also. Like I'm just reminded of the meditation we did. Yeah.
That's why I put that asking there, because, that's why I'm talking so much about it, because we don't ask. We forget to ask. We think we can fight all our battles on our own. But even the story says that the gods invoked Durga. They asked Durga to intervene. Only then she intervened. And I think that also goes to show that only when a karma is coming to an end will we have that wisdom to ask, or when you're really in a place. So many times you see so many principles. Logically I know, technically I know, but when it comes to applying also in my own life, I'll only apply it when maybe the karmic time has come for me to apply those principles. So even in the same thing with spiritual help and guidance, it's always there. Even if your karmic thing is not over, you can always invoke for blessings. You can always ask for guidance. At least you will be guided through it in a much better way. And this I have experienced, that even when difficult time comes and you have to go through a karma, you will know that, okay, fine, I have to go through this karma, but at least I have the spiritual support. I know I have the support to go through this karma. And there is again, I think, a saying in the Vedic text that when our ego dissolves, even the most demonic soul comes back to the heart of the mother. And the ego mind is what seeks, to control, craves power. And this is where we even come to we are already half an hour in, and I still have a lot to discuss, and the meditation. Is it okay if it goes about like an hour, like say 1 hour, 15 minutes or so? Okay. So,
I was also just thinking when you said, when your karmic cycles are ending, and in my head I was like, ego deaths also when they happen, that's also when you.
That's linked to the karmic cycle, yeah. Also, acceptance is something which is linked to karmic cycle. Till the time you don't accept the situation that you are in, your karmic cycle cannot come to an end. So in her story, what we understand from her story is that both devas and asuras, they both have powers. They both gained their powers through meditation, through sacrifices, through sadhana and yajnas and everything. One is using them, one of the people are using, one of the asuras are using it to control, to seek control. They have let it go to their head and become ego. And the devas are using it to help the world, to do good for people. So anytime you use your power to to be generous, to be humble, compassionate, fearless, courageous, all these are the positive qualities that you get through sadhana. And again, the ego, the pride, arrogance. Our master used to say that pride is one of the last things to go. It's the last vice to go, even in a spiritual aspirant, because when you're onto the spiritual track, you get powers. When you get powers, you get pride. And even though you keep surrendering that pride, no matter how much you do, there will always be that pride will be the last thing to go. So it is and it becomes so subtle that you don't even realize that pride is coming in. So it's really a very tricky vice. And the story also shows that there is always the light always wins over the dark. Bad things are allowed to happen so that there can be a balance which is created in the world. And that desires, they can be good and bad. Even spirituality is a desire. So desire is not a bad thing. Desire is something which we've been fed in, especially in the spiritual world, that desire nahi hona chahiye. But desire is very important, because without desire, there would be no creation. That is why the goddess Shakti was known as Maya in a lot of Vedic cultures, and Maya was considered as bad. But it all depends on how you look at it. We are going to come to the shadow aspects of Durga as well, because Durga is an energy when unbalanced can become, the shadow aspect can take over. So we are understanding Durga and all the goddesses that we'll be doing from a human archetype perspective, the energy that that is within us as well. And yeah, the most important person in the battle, Rakt Beach. Rakt Beach, the representation of Rakt Beach is of the self-seeking mind, which pops up every time you think you have put it down. It will come up, rise up in a different way. And so this is something that we need to understand, that every time we cut down our, either whether it's emotions, whether it is, negative emotions, or whether it is something that you feel you have overcome, life will always test you in some ways to actually see whether you've overcome it or not. And which is why also the Satyug cycle is much longer than the Kalyug. Kalyug is the shortest of all the cycles, the evolutionary cycles. Because only when you have problems, only when you have trouble, only when you are tested, can your actual evolutionary growth be, judged or tested in a way. But Satyug, when there are no problems, when everything is smooth, when there's hardly any negativity, you are not tested. So you have to go through that many more years to actually finish the whole cycle of Satyug. And Durga is also known as a goddess of royalty, because she is a goddess which kind of bridges heaven to earth. And in the olden days, royalty was basically somebody who created a balance between, between all the people in their region or in their culture. So you'll notice a lot of Rajputs and a lot of royalty in general, they worship the goddess. And no, I haven't been able to explain this properly, but so, sometimes when we think that this person is blessed with a golden spoon, or this person is, got everything going for them in life, it basically comes out of a karma, because they are also karmically entitled to do that. Also because they have given in the past, they have had the heart to share and to, uh, to distribute that wealth, because money is not meant to be hoarded, it's meant to be distributed. It's meant to, when you reach that, even in the olden days, if you hear stories about kings and queens and all who used to who ruled well and who ruled for a very long time, they always created a balance between people. They always gave more to the people, and that is when their kingdom also flourished. So that balance energy is very important. If you are always doing for yourself, you cannot, you cannot create that bridge, that you cannot bridge the gap between the high and the low. So with the Durga energy, there's a lot of will, purpose, direction. As long as the movement that you're fighting for doesn't become an internal power struggle, and the cause is for a greater cause, like in the story, that Durga Shakti will always be with you. And So there are a few things that you can invoke, especially you can invoke Durga for. One is when something wrong has been done and you want to right that situation, when you need the courage to make a wrong right, then you invoke uh, Durga, especially if you're gentle by nature, then and you need to speak up or you need to put a stop to something that is going wrong, then you need to invoke the Durga Shakti. Her strength is also more emotional and mental. The strength that Durga gives you is more to cope up with the emotional and the mental issues, but physically also her Bij mantra Doom, which is a very powerful mantra even for physical protection. So if you feel that you're physically going to be uh, challenged in some way or the other, or you're not safe physically, you can chant her mantra Doom or just Om Doom Durgaye Namah. Even when you chant it out loud, you notice the energy that the word Doom creates around you if you're sensitive. And so Durga energy can also help you in changing your life stories, not being stuck in the old stories that are, self-defeating. And so she can give you that boost to uplift you, to help you look at things from a different, brighter perspective. And a sense of balance. Also, a lot of people who are like environmentalists or people who are fighting for a greater cause of a greater good, they always have the Durga Shakti supporting them. And as long as it doesn't become a personal power struggle. So when you're wanting justice, or even in a family, when you're fighting, if there is a case that you have or you're fighting something and you want justice for yourself, the Durga energy is what is required. She'll give you the willpower to stay on your path. If you need the willpower to stay on your path, getting down to work, helping you in challenging situations. Sometimes a lot of people feel that they cannot end a relationship even if it is toxic for them. The energy that you need to end a relationship which is toxic for you is the Durga Shakti. Changing a behavior in yourself or changing behaviors of people around you requires the Durga Shakti for you to it's basically a very no nonsense energy. It is literally like, I'm not going to tolerate this. You cannot, treat me like this. And I need things to change. Whether I change or, it changes around me, but I need change. So change is the main, change and balance and all are the main things that she can help you with in your life. And now we come to the shadow parts. So the shadow aspect is any energy which gets unbalanced becomes a shadow aspect in us. So the shadow aspect of Durga is like a mother who's who's all the time nagging her children, who's all the time very forceful with her kids because she's very ambitious and she wants her kids to do very well in school or in life or anything. So she's all the time like, literally after their life that get it done, get it done, get it done. Whereas the child may not have that Durga Shakti. The child also has that strong power, the willpower, the solar plexus is strong, then it works. And then maybe she will also not have to say it so much, so it will be balanced. But when a child, say if a child is a very gentle or a soft child, if it's got more of a Saraswati energy, that I'll do it in my own time. Right now I'm doing something else. Or it's got a very loving energy, like, Lakshmi energy, which is like, it's okay, it'll all happen. What's the rush? Why you, going so crazy about it and things like this. So then you need to understand that there are two different energies which are clashing. And when you're overdoing it, a little bit of Durga Shakti is important both for Saraswati and Lakshmi type of children and people. But it still needs to be balanced because everybody will understand it when it's balanced. When it goes overboard and it becomes a shadow, then it becomes nagging. Any kind of need for control, like when you are obsessive about things, that you have to have things in a certain way, micromanaging, or even to the extent of disempowering people. And all of that becomes when you have too much of that willpower to micromanage, to make a change and all that. That is why when like this, Durga's energy became so overpowering and overbearing that even when the masculine trinity tried to stop her, they couldn't stop her then. So that it shows a need for, in all decisions, coming back to a balance. A shadow Durga energy will also be like people who are constantly criticizing, constantly finding faults with others. They can also be very indecisive, deceitful, don't have the discipline to get things done. Uh, Extreme shadow will be an addictions. And yeah, one of the classic cases of Durga energy, which happens a lot, which is the shadow energy, is people who don't show their emotions, because we are not conditioned that way. Anything which is, showing emotions is considered as weak, or she's gone crazy. Like, Kali energy is not understood properly because people think that she's just too fierce, or she's just too this thing. Actually, Kali is a very, very loving and a gentle energy. And it's the need. So Durga energy becomes unbalanced when you're not, when you are not being able to channel yourself properly, when you're not being able to express your emotions in a way where it is understood by people. So then that also becomes unbalanced, and if it is suppressed for too long, it will come out like Kali energy in one burst. So Kali again is, though Kali, the willpower of Kali is associated with Archana, but the fierceness of Kali, the shadow aspect of Kali is associated when your solar plexus, when the emotional aspect of you is so suppressed. It can even come up as anxiety. And a lot of people, when the solar plexus is suppressed, it can come up as anxiety. So that is a classic example of Durga energy being imbalanced and going into the shadow aspect. Some of the people who I can associate with Durga energy are Hillary Clinton, need for control, Queen Elizabeth, a lot of environmentalists, lawyers, people who have that go energy.
Amrita, how do we balance it? Like, you're talking about the shadow aspects and all. So how do you?
So we'll be doing a meditation also to help. There are some questions also which you can contemplate on. I'll just tell you. And also knowing that, okay, fine, this is, this, I'm going into an imbalance, I'm overdoing it. That thing will come from that. When it comes from a firm, strong place, and knowing that, okay, fine, I have said it, this person is not acting in the way, or, this thing, let me give it time, let me try a different approach. But anything which goes, now see, when like in nagging, when Durga Shakti becomes like a nagging Shakti, that is our need for control. That you have to understand that then the problem is not with the other person, because the other person may have a very different energy. But when we are not being able to control our need for, to have things in a certain way, that is when we need to look within. And that is something which is our energy that needs to be balanced. So it's not always like, Durga energy will always make you feel like I am doing everything right. And, what is happening in front of me, like a Durga mother who has a very, this is my example only, a Durga mother who has a very soft child will even like tell the child that, you're too soft, or you're too, you can't be like this, you need to be a fighter, you need to be this thing. Now, I had my way of rebelling, I was a silent rebel, but like, it was just that I was never the aggressive kind. I was never the ambitious kind. So, things like, what will you do in your life? You'll do nothing in your life. When parents go like that and telling children, that what do you want to do and you're going to be good for nothing and things like that, that is basically their own need, their own fear.
No,
And
you're absolutely right, because I feel that I am also that kind of a mother, and I need, like, now I'm, and you saying all the, I mean, my daughter is also Anvika. She's a little
yeah,
soft, so I tell her, like, be a fighter, like, be a. I keep telling her that you're a Durga, but now that you're saying this, I really think that maybe I should change. I don't know, my words, and maybe try a different approach, because I thought it was working, but like, because she's a, or
they need
maybe.
a little bit. They need that little bit of push. Like, thoda sa they need that push.
Yeah.
And more than the push from you, what they need to see you as Durga. Don't try
Okay.
to make her as Durga. Let her
Oh,
see.
that is so beautiful. Yeah. Thank
Yeah.
you.
So,
Yeah.
because then if she sees you as that, and if she'll obviously imbibe some of that energy later on in life. Whenever she requires it, she knows she can draw that energy from you. But if she is inherently a Lakshmi energy, a loving, kind, gentle energy, one, she will not get into things that you would get into. Maybe the causes that you fight for, she will not fight for those causes. She will have her own path to choose. But when she needs to fight for a cause, or she needs to fight for herself, she knows that she has a Durga energy that she can draw upon. So that is I can say deep breath.
Yeah, absolutely. Because I always tell her, go out, like, be. I am very outdoorsy, and the kind of profession I want her to be, like, active, and but
Mm.
she is not like that. She would like to sit and paint, which I would, like, obviously encourage her. But I also want her to be physically strong and active. But then I don't know. Maybe I should.
That may be a Saraswati energy. Saraswati energy are very difficult children to bring up. Especially for a Durga like mother, because Saraswati will do what she wants and she will not listen to anybody.
Absolutely, that's how she is.
Yeah, and no relationship will hold so much importance as what they feel they need to do to fulfill their own, whether it's creativity, whether it's knowledge. Like, if you see all musicians, all artists, all people who are into books and all, they all like being alone. They are very like, okay, let me study more. How can I, like, do more in this? How can I grow more in this field? They don't need a big group of friends. They don't need a big social circle and all. They're very happy on their own. They will even forget to eat. They will forget to cook. They will forget to do anything, because their art or their knowledge, whatever they are gaining knowledge in, that will take the primary focus for them. That is why even in the story, Saraswati story, they say that Brahma left Saraswati because she was not a good housewife, because you would not give him any attention. She would not, like, she was so busy in her own wisdom learnings that,
Yeah.
so the story goes like that. So there's a reason for all these goddesses, because they all show us different aspects of ourselves, which is why I'm discussing it in that way also. Hmm. Yeah, my mom had a very tough time, I think, bringing me up. I was a very silent rebel. I think it's
Mhm.
difficult to deal with silent rebels, with like people who are, today only I was thinking about it. I said, people who just rebel on your face, at least you know what they're up to, like, how to tackle them. With me, like, whatever she would say, I would be just like, yeah, and I would do what I wanted to do.
Exactly. Yeah. I will speak to you about it in detail sometime.
Sure, anytime.
Yeah, thank you.
So now Durga is the Kundalini energy, and it's already 7:30. I'm
Yeah.
just
My friends also joining for meditation.
all right.
All right.
So, Durga, as we discussed, that she is a combination of the masculine and the feminine, and it's more of an inner Shakti. The Kundalini is a form of the inner goddess. And when the body is formed, we are all formed like the left side is feminine, the right side is masculine, the left brain is masculine, and the right brain is feminine. And the intersection happens at the Ajna, which is the cross of the Ida and the Pingla Nadi. So if you notice, even the caduceus, which is a representation of our Ida and Pingla, the solar and lunar energy, or the feminine and masculine energy, when they rise up, so the first thing that happens, the first energy that is born is the Kali energy, which rises like a bolt of lightning. And when you're on the spiritual path, the Kali energy is basically, it will throw out all the things that are not serving you, that are, that's why people who go on the spiritual path, the first thing they experience a lot of karmic, like the karma, the flow of karma increases because more divine energy is coming in, more channels are opening, all the karma stuck in that channels is coming up for healing. So that's why sometimes people say that, spiritual path is dangerous and it's not safe and all that, because it will bring up all the things that we don't want to look at. But that is the Kali energy that will first rise. The second energy that rises is Lakshmi, because once the Kali is done rising and clearing all that toxicity out of your system, the Lakshmi energy is the energy of bliss. So it's a very blissful, very kind, gratitude-filled energy. And so it'll make you feel really peaceful, at peace, and you'll start feeling that first glimpses of inner peace and bliss will start coming. The third energy that rises is Saraswati. That is the power of knowledge, wisdom, higher intellect. Your intellectual power becomes more refined. You understand things from a much deeper perspective. Like I said, Saraswati is the Ajna, it gives clarity. The mantra Ain gives clarity. So it'll help you see through things. It'll help you understand things in a much deeper way, and also how to cope with them. So that is why sometimes, like this happened with me. Quickly, I'm just going to give you this example that when I started going on the path, and before, like I was on the path, a lot of my colleagues would tell me, "Oh, this person is taking advantage of you. This person is taking advantage of you." Everybody could see. Maybe I also knew, but I was like, I don't think so. I mean, this person also has a lot of good in them. So that started happening. And then as soon as I started like going on this path, and I started realizing that, okay, things are happening. And I started seeing through people. So that made it very difficult for me because I didn't know how to cope with actually seeing through people. Like, it was very easy for me to cope with that everybody is nice and okay, even if they say something nasty, I'll say something nasty and we're done with it. So, but then when you're on the path, when you're careful that no, okay, I don't want to say anything, I don't want to react in that manner, but I can see what the person is doing. So that's when you have to bring in the Lakshmi aspect again. So it's a whole cycle, the aspect of love. So that's when you have to decide that, okay, do I want to continue be in this energy, or do I not want to be in this energy? But you do it with love. So, yeah, we can start with the meditation. This is just a quick and a very short introduction to what Kundalini energy is and how it rises in us. The Bij mantra for Durga is Doom, which is the mantra of a pure strength. Bij mantras, they have more of an effect in the body. None of the Bij mantras really have a meaning as such. But when you are chanting the mantras, what it does is it works on that specific chakra and it helps you unveil any blockages, anything that is happening in that area of your life. And you can even use the mantra Om Doom Durgaya Namaha. I bow to the one who removes all obstacles. Also, it's an invocation for protection. If you feel you need any kind of physical, psychic, emotional protection, if you're chanting Om Doom Doom Durgaya Namaha, there's actually like a shield forming around you. And if you want to make it lighter, you want to invoke the love aspect of it also, you can chant Om Hreem Shreem Doom Durgaya Namaha. Or Om Hreem Shreem Doom. They're just the beach mantras. That is also good. That is, these mantras are basically if you want to get into the sadhana of Durga. So let's start with the meditation. Let's take a deep breath. Deep inhale, exhale, relax your whole body. To the Divine Mother, Mother of the world, to the Warrior Goddess, we invoke for healing from all weaknesses, be it in the form of indecisiveness, deceitfulness, lack of any discipline, ego, addiction, greed, jealousy, anything that you feel you need to heal within you. Ask for divine light, love, and blessing. Now visualize yourself in a pillar of light coming through the divine, going through your crown, down through the earth, through your entire spine, your feet, into the earth. As I chant this mantra, visualize the pillar of light becoming stronger, bigger, and covering your entire aura, going around 5 to 10 feet around you. Om Hreem Shreem Doom Durgaye Namaha. Om Hreem Shreem Doom Durgaye Namaha. Om Hreem Shreem Doom Durgaye Namaha. Visualize the image of Durga as you see her. Allow her energy to come into this pillar of light. She's looking at you with a lot of love, and she's come to give you the power and the courage to make the changes that you need to in your life. She's asking you to speak to her. Ask her what inner obstacle you need to work on and what you need to achieve. The answers may come to you now or at a later time. Just set an intention to know what is it that you need to surrender and what is it that you are missing out on. Allow yourself to be receptive to the guidance. Ask her to give you the courage to see clearly what the inner obstacles are and what you need to surrender. Be aware of all your emotions. Be aware of the feelings that are coming up as you see Durga in your pillar of light. Allow yourself to surrender any emotions that need to go now. Visualize her sword cutting through all the obstacles that you are facing right now. Say, I offer these obstacles to you. I ask for your grace in dissolving all inner and outer obstacles. Feel her energy flowing through your entire body. Visualize her light flowing down through the crown, dissolving all negative thoughts, blockages that you may have within you, consciously or subconsciously. Be aware of the area above your head and allow her to cut through any obstacles in your thoughts. Imagine her energy and her clarity now flowing down through your brain cells to your third eye. See all the illusions melting away, all gray areas in your life being dissolved into the light. Visualize yourself seeing through the situation clearly, whether it is an internal or an external situation. See yourself clearing all obstacles and releasing and healing all that needs to be healed. Breathe her light into your body, into every pore. Visualize the pillar of light that you are in, radiating with divine Durga Shakti. See her light coming into your throat. Any lack of courage to speak up, any thoughts you may have suppressed across all dimensions of time, let them all be dissolved into this light. Any pride or negative karma that you're holding on to in this chakra, allow it to be dissolved right now. Ask for clarity in speech, in thought, in your words, and in all forms of expression. Visualize a powerful energy entering your heart. Be aware of your heart chakra. See this powerful energy of the Divine Mother disintegrating anything which is not of love from your heart. Take a deep breath and allow yourself to surrender any obstacles to love. May they all be healed. May your heart be flooded with divine love, compassion, with the inner strength. Ask her to heal your heart. The heart is also the residing place for the Divine Mother. Be aware of your solar plexus, the pancreas, the stomach. See all the lower emotions of jealousy, greed, irritation, any self-contempt, self-doubt, lack of courage. All of this is being released. May Durga's sword clear anything that is stopping you from moving forward in the light. Feel the energy in your solar plexus and see how you feel. See if you feel any discomfort, tightness, heaviness. Take a few deep breaths into the diaphragm. Give yourself some time to release any stuck energies or emotions from this area. Be receptive to the grace of Durga. See yourself as a powerful daughter of this ancient divine mother, who is the warrior goddess. See yourself carrying her strength, wisdom, and courage within every cell of your body. See this energy flow into the navel. Any fear of the past, any anger, resentment, trauma, they'll be healed right now. Any painful or negative memories that you're carrying from your mother's womb, surrender that energy to the divine cosmic mother right now. Any energy which is not serving you any longer, coming down through your mother's lineage, let it be dissolved. Just take a few deep breaths, exhaling, releasing all the stories that you've been carrying from all across your lineages. Anything that is not serving your higher self anymore, allow those stories to be released, transmuted, and healed. Be aware of the Sacral Chakra. Take a few deep breaths. Any lower emotions, lack of creative energy, let it all be healed deeply, permanently, and completely. Ask Durga for the spiritual energy to evolve on your life's path, to create the life that is divinely ordained for you. See all your doubts, your sadness dissolving into this light. The sacral chakra is also very important for your spiritual evolution, as well as the kind of life that you want. Any blockages towards abundance of any form, allow it to all be released. All thoughts, emotions that are causing the blockages towards a happy, abundant, and joyful life. See them being dissolved and released right now. Your sacral chakra is bright and healthy, filled with brilliant healing light. Inhale and exhale, be aware of this energy. Be aware of this light that you're carrying forward. Be aware of your basic chakra at the base of the spine. Releasing all doubts, lack of strength, any defeating emotions, thoughts that you may be carrying consciously or subconsciously. Any weakening thoughts which are causing you mental, physical, or emotional pain. You see them being dissolved down into the earth. Sending a lot of love, bringing in the power of the Divine Mother into the base of your spine. Allowing her power to ground you to Mother Earth. Surrender all these insecurities and ask her to release any negative ancestral karma that may be holding you through your lower chakras. Breathe her energy back up into your spine. Be aware of the base of the spine. See Mother Earth radiating her energy back towards your basic chakra. Inhale and exhale. Now inhale this light up to your heart. Feel the blessings of the Divine Mother in your heart. Take this energy all the way up to your crown, up to the Divine Cosmic Mother. And let her energy shower down upon you with grace. Breathe her powerful divine energy. Inhale her courage, her strength, her wisdom. Visualize her Shakti coming down from heaven through your heart, as well as coming up from the center of the earth through your spine into the heart. Let's take a few breaths at the heart center. Asking for the courage, the wisdom, the guidance for whatever you need in your life. And now, truly embodying the Shakti of Durga within you. Breathing her energy into every pore and becoming Durga yourself. If you have any doubt about being a goddess, surrender that to her as well. Know that you're a child of the Divine Mother and you are made in her image. The brain may have doubts, but the heart knows. To the Divine Mother, we thank you for your blessing, your healing, and for healing anything that is not of love, faith, and joy in our lives. When we embody her energy, we ask for her grace, and then you have to allow for her grace to flow through you. You can choose to carry this energy with you for a week, 10 days, or as long as you want. Whenever you're ready, you can open your eyes. Thank you, everyone.
Very powerful, very powerful. Thank you. Thank you, Amrita.
Thank you, Amrita.
कल भी है क्या?
Everybody's on mute. I think Smita is not.
कल भी है? Hello?
I can't hear you, Smita.
कल, tomorrow as well?
No.
कल भी
Can
है
you
क्या?
hear me?
Thank you, Amrita. It was beautiful. And